Welcome back to another edition of the Night Report podcast. I'm your host, Richie Schnyderite, joined by Rutgers beat writer, Rutgers Rivals senior writer. I don't know what you want to call yourself, Craig.
A little bit of
Craig, yeah, the Rutgers Rivals Swiss Army knife, a.k.a. Johnny Langan, a.k.a. Craig Epstein.
Thank you.
Craig, what's going on, man?
Not much. I mean, it was a pretty eventful day yesterday between, the Yankees got Juan Soto.
That was pretty cool.
The Jets announced Zach Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback. I don't think there were any hockey games yesterday. No basketball. The Knicks already lost, but and Rutgers got DylanHarper. That was definitely something that we've talked about over the last, I would say, at this point, year. I mean,
it's over that. I think.
It's been as long as I can remember. I mean, just crazy. But we've talked about it for a long time. We've basically said everything there is to say other than those words. DylanHarper is officially a Scarlet Knight, but now we can say it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's about as good as it gets if you're a Rutgers fan, between Ace Bailey and now you got DylanHarper, the dynamic duo. I mean, we've talked about it where now the floor isn't just to make the NCAA tournament. To me, the floor now is Sweet 16 at the minimum. And to me, the ceiling is a potential Final Four berth. I mean, that's how good these two guys are and can be together. And and not even just them. I mean, the Lathan Somerville, Dylan Grant, all these different guys, kind of the Fab Five that we've kind of talked about. And I thought it was so funny how
better than the Fab Five.
Yeah, right. And I thought it was so funny and kind of, I don't know, just kind of cool how they had Jalen Rose was I guess the mediator at the DylanHarper announcement. So that was pretty cool. And I mean, I'm just so excited just to watch these guys play, get to cover them, and see where this thing goes. Because I mean, to me, what did we say? The floor is the ceiling, or the ceiling is the roof. I mean, that's kind of the expectation for next year's Rutgers basketball team.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because someone asked me yesterday and they're like, "Hey, when's the last time a school landed the number 2 and number 3 player?" And I'm like, last year, Kentucky. They got Aaron Bradshaw and I forget who the other guy was, but regardless, I do think this has to be a tournament team bare minimum. And I think you have, like you said, you have to make the Sweet 16 at least. There's too much talent. And it's not just those two. You're also partnering him with one of the better defenders in the country, in Jeremiah Williams, who no one really knows about yet because they haven't gotten to see him. But when he did play, he was a great defender. And then you're also getting Gavin Griffiths, was one of the best shooters up until recently, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But no, this is just incredible, man. This is something else. I didn't understand the Jalen Rose thing. I thought that was a little odd.
I'm guessing is he friends with Ron Senior? I mean,
I just assumed he was some part of Fanatics somehow.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Overtime or one of those crazy, wacky things, because that was the weirdest announcement ever. Because number one, it was a Woj bomb, which was all right, yeah, that's cool, I guess, but also not cool, I guess, because everyone was pissed off. And I'll be honest, I was a little pissed off because I was like, oh, I got this ready. I'm going to stream this whole thing. It's going to be on Instagram, but I'm also going to stream it on our YouTube. And then all of a sudden it's 4:20 or something. And someone texted me. They're like, yo, he committed. And I'm like, no, he didn't. It's not live. And I'm looking. I'm like, motherfucker, Woj, God damn it.
Listen, I mean, this is what happens when you deal with the national media, because somebody must have told him. And when you're dealing with Woj, they don't care. They're just gonna put it out because what do they have to lose? He's Woj.
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying before, though, interestingly enough, before this year, the number 2 and number 3 players in the country, it was Jason Tatum and Harry Giles for Duke. They lost in the second round. Yeah. So you have to get past that. I feel like at a bare minimum, it's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy to just. It's weird because someone said after last night's game, someone was like, hey, even if we put those two on the court right now, we're still a bad team. And I'm like, no, you're not. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. I don't really know what else is going to happen over the next year. It's just kind of what am I supposed to do about basketball recruiting content? This was my content for a whole year.
Trey McKinney. Hope that
that's
hope that there's some smoke there.
There's some legitimate smoke there. This isn't done. Like people are like, oh yeah, Rutgers one and done, whatever. Who cares? 6 months of number 2 and 3. There's more to it. And I'm not talking Trey McKinney. I'm not talking Darius Acuff, who's visiting in February. They've also had a bunch of other 4-stars visiting. I'm talking like future, like the number 26 in 2026 class. I forget how to pronounce his name. I think it's Kiner Asparella.
Sounds about right.
He's a new guy. He's a center for Don Bosco Prep. He transferred in this offseason. He's number 24 in the country. He was rocking a Rutgers hat yesterday after Harper's thing. And he's heavily considering Rutgers now. He doesn't have an offer yet, but I'd be shocked if they didn't offer him down the line. He's 7 foot, 6'2", 230, big man. Like this isn't stopping. Like as long as they are somewhat successful, this is going to be like a crazy domino effect for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like the pipeline for Don Bosco starting to come into effect. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. And I'm just looking at yesterday, and obviously the number 2 overall, or 2 or 3s. I mean, I keep seeing 2s and 3s, but
Harper's 3, Ace is 2 for us.
Okay, but either way,
I think we're the only ones that have Ace 2 actually, which I am shocked by because I think Ace is. I'm going to be honest here. Ace is the better player.
Then Dylan, or
then Dylan.
Oh, okay.
And I honestly think he could be the better player when it's all said and done than Cooper Flag. Like I think Ace could be number 1.
But it just makes me think back to like how I guess Rutgers fans and how kind of us react to like other big name guys that have committed in the past. Like I don't know, like the Mike Williamses, obviously the Mike Rosarios, even the Cliff O'Maries. Like how we reacted to guys of that level actually picking Rutgers. And how we get kind of, I guess, through like almost like a parade, because it's like, wow, it's like a good, really good high school player. But these 2 guys really are just in a different stratosphere. I mean, like we've talked about it. No, these are guys who are going to be lottery picks, like one and done. Like there's a serious chance you could say with the first overall pick is like Ace Bailey, and the second overall pick is DylanHarper. Like, could you imagine that? Like that would just be like so cool. And hopefully, part of me hopes, part of me not hopes that both 1 or 2 go to the Knicks, to be honest.
Well, of course, but you guys would have to have. It's very possible. You guys could have a pretty bad season next year.
Well, maybe they'll both go to the Knicks and the Nets. You never know.
I'd be cool with that. And honestly, in terms of like media aspects, if that was to happen from a Rutgers perspective, would be huge to have like a star player on the Knicks and Nets down the street. Then they would probably bring a bunch of other players to games like nonstop in those new luxury suites, you know?
Yeah. And it also made me think of. I was also thinking of, because I saw a bunch of people posting the old Ron Harper Ron Harper Jr. when he committed. That just I forget what year that picture was, but obviously just Ron Harper Jr. just looks so different. He looks like just like such like a little kid. And then you have little DylanHarper. I guess at the time, almost like a. I don't even know how old he was, but it's just like think of that. Just look at that picture and think like the effect that those like 2 guys would have on really Rutgers basketball, like the landscape. Like one guy basically gave it like the rebirth, and the little kid sitting right next to him was going to be the biggest recruit, or one of the biggest recruits they've ever gotten in program history. Like it's just crazy how things work out.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely crazy. He does look a little weird there, just to see him like in a different aspect. But this is just absolutely insane. They had the number 2 recruiting class, and I know everyone's touting Steve Pikiell as like the greatest guy ever, and he deserves it. He deserves the credit. He deserves everything that everyone's giving him. But I also do want to give some credit to Brandin Knight, because this man has been on a tear since he's been at Rutgers. He started off his career recruiting Geo Baker. Then he got Montez Mathis over UConn, which was a huge win at the time.
That was another one I forgot. I meant to mention. Yeah, Montez Mathis.
That was one of those ones where everyone's like throwing a parade, like you said.
Yeah,
It was like, oh my God, we beat UConn? Like, we beat UConn? And it's like, yeah, like you beat UConn. Like, and that was a good UConn team at the time.
I remember I remember when he committed, and I had the same exact reaction. I was like, they beat UConn?
Yeah, and it was huge. Like, and UConn's blue blood, like whether people want to admit it or not. On top of that, Cliff Amori, of course, and now he has Dylan and Ace as number 2 and number 3 in the country. under his belt now. So now, like, I think he's got to be National Recruiter of the Year, right? Like,
Is that an award?
Yeah, we do it every year.
Oh, I'm saying
Yeah.
like I was thinking like an NCAA type of award.
No. Like Rivals does it.
Ah,
Like all the recruiting sites do it. But I mean, when you
yeah.
recruit number 2 and 3 in the country, like it's just like, yeah, right. Like you got to give it to him. I mean,
No.
you can. I know some people are gonna like Duke fans are gonna be weirdos and be like, oh, well, you know, Jalen Lucas got Cooper Flag and I don't know, Patrick Ngongba, and it's like, but he's not number 2 and 3. That's just number 1 and like 24 or something. But that did piss off a lot of people too in terms of the ranking because Rutgers isn't number 1 in the country. They're technically number 2, which is fine. It's still damn good. Like, but Duke does have a crazy class coming in, so that's like Rutgers has 1-2, 101, 129, and not ranked Bryce George, who's just outside those rankings because he was previously ranked like 145, 146 or something. And then Duke's got like 117, 12, 24, 25, and it's like, all right, well, hence you see the difference. But it's going to be a crazy battle, and scheduling, I can't wait. Like, you got to take this team on like a world tour. Like, I want a Taylor Swift world tour. Arenas are sold out everywhere. It's going to be crazy. Like, I think this is the year Pikel finally is going to do an MTE during the holiday season, because
Might
you
not
kind
have
of
much of a choice, to be honest. I mean,
I get his thinking behind it, because his thinking was always saying like, hey, like I want these guys to have off. It's their time with their families. Like, Thanksgiving is obviously big family holiday. Like, so it makes sense from that aspect. But when there's so many big games on that weekend, I think you have to go somewhere, and spots are filling up, and that's where it gets a little tricky. We do know that Legends Classic is there's a lot of people pushing for Rutgers to go down to the Legends Classic in Florida, I believe it is. And they don't have, I think they need 5 teams, or no, not the Legends, I'm sorry, the ESPN Events Invitational, it's called. And it's down in Orlando. It's basically Disney. It's like ESPN Resorts Disney, whatever it is. But yeah, so they're looking for teams. I know Syracuse was interested, Duke was interested, St. John's is one that was interested. Rutgers, they're pushing to try to get interested to see if they're interested, but that would be a hell of a lineup. And personally, screw that. Jimmy V Classic. I went to it the other night for UConn. Well, I saw FAU, Illinois first. Then it was UConn, UNC. That atmosphere is just, it's a different level. And I've seen Rutgers play there, and it's been crazy. You've seen Rutgers play there. It's been crazy. If they get the number 2 and number 3 player in New York City, in the Mecca of basketball, in Jimmy V Classic, which has Rutgers ties to it, obviously, we're talking that place is going to go insane, louder than any Knicks game's ever been over the past couple of years. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you have any ideas of like where you want to see them go, but I
think the Garden. I mean, that's at the very least. I mean, they go to the Garden even without these. I mean, they went just last year. Like the Garden is almost should be. I mean, I guess kind of their second home. Like that, you want to make your state. You want to make like kind of your staple in that New York City area, because that's kind of the bread and butter of the benefits of being Rutgers University is you get that New York City market. What better way to show off your 2 biggest recruits in program history than at, I mean, you hate to admit, the world's most famous arena, the Mecca. Like,
I admit that. No,
I know
openly. Yeah.
No, but I mean, this is where basketball. Like, this is the home of basketball, and what better way to showcase your guys than there? And then, yeah, like you said, go to Florida, maybe go to the Bahamas, because I would love to go down and wear my Hawaiian shirt, drink a margarita on the beach.
Unfortunately, it does sound like the Bahamas is booked. It sounds like what was the other one? Bermuda is also booked. So we'll have to wait and see if there's anything else they can kind of sneak. I mean, Florida's still pretty nice. You could still get away with a Hawaiian shirt. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's a tournament. Is that a tournament?
It might be. Make one.
I mean, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you could still wear the Hawaiian shirt in Florida. Like, trust me, sure. It's fine. Like, Florida's still nice. I'll let you know in 2 weeks when I go watch Dylan and Ace play down in Florida. So, a week actually. Week, 10 days? I don't even know anymore. 12 days. Yeah. It's so that's pretty cool too, is that they're going to play each other. Like, on multiple occasions they're going to be on the same court in the same night too. Like, they're going to the battle in at Jersey Mike's Arena on December 28th, which is like games from
29th, I think it is, right?
29th, maybe,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like
20th.
Yes, you're right. That's why I knew that date. I knew that for a reason. That's from like 1 p.m. to like 8 p.m. I think is the last game, and I think the last game is Ace, and the game before that is Dylan versus Ian Jackson, who's one of the top recruits in the country going to North Carolina. It's going to be insane. And then like them playing each other, I can't wait because they're going to guard each other, and it's going to be interesting to watch. But this is just, I don't know. The whole
I think
thing
another
is just
aspect that
crazy.
is just so good about it is just like they have such a good rapport with each other, playing together, playing on separate sides, best friends, families. I've seen you say families, best friends. Like you
Mhm.
see in basketball that it takes time to really gel and build that chemistry with a teammate that you've really never played before. But these guys are so
Mhm.
like just so like with each other all like almost all the time that like the that time it takes to build chemistry really won't take that long because these guys have just done it so many times now.
I mean, anyone that can make a TikTok together and like have dance moves like that, I think they're fine. I think the
Yeah.
chemistry's there. But yeah, no, like you see the clips too, like the AOT clips of like DylanHarper and Ace together, and it's like they're just such a different style of basketball that Rutgers fans are just not used to either. So I think the minute that they like, you're gonna see them on the court together, and you're like, what the? We're fast paced now, and it's like we thought we were gonna see glimpses of that this year, but obviously it's not coming
Well,
to
they're kind of
fruition.
fast paced. They just don't shoot well, but we'll talk
Well,
about that in a bit.
that's a different story. But I'm trying to find the AOT clip of them playing together because it was insane to just watch them play together because you just see like little things, and I think it was actually streamed this summer when they were playing,
Mm.
but it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like almost like an AAU game or like an NBA game. Like you just watch them play, and it's just like they're just so much better than everyone else, and it's, I don't know, this whole thing's gonna be, I can't like stop raving about it. It's so crazy to me.
And I
Like,
know you've done it a million times before, but we could always have new listeners new to the pod. What would you
mhm.
give their player comparisons?
You saw it on Twitter. I know you did. Uh, it's scary hours, man. It's we're not talking, and it's crazy because like I'm not talking Harden. I know I used the Harden and KD comparisons, and I still like those comparisons, but I don't like the Harden comparison from when he's in OKC. I think it's Harden like a little bit after that when he
Like
started
Houston?
to, yeah, he used to like his first time in Houston
Yeah.
when he started to develop into like a really good player, and everyone's like, holy shit, who the hell is this guy? Um, I think it's him, and then it's Kevin Durant, like going nuts. Like Kevin Durant, it's a guard skill set for a forward. Like Ace Bailey's like 6'10", 6'10 and a half, I think he told me recently. Um, but he's got the guard skill set. He can score, he can shoot, he can drive, he can kick, he can play above the rim, he can hit the three. And it's wild to me because I've told Mike this before too, and I think I've told you actually. There were people that were telling me like on the Rutgers beat that were like, yeah, I don't know if Ace is really that good. I think he just like plays above the rim a lot and he just dunks a lot. And I'm like, what? Like, stop. What are you talking about? Like, but yeah, no, I do think it's a KD level comparison for Ace Bailey. And honestly, KD was number 2 in the country too. So it's not absurd. He's just as lengthy, he's just as skinny. He probably still needs to put on weight. He might be a little thicker than KD was in high school because KD was like 110 pounds soaking wet, maybe. And then James Harden, the comparison for Dylan, it's a guard that can play either role in the backcourt. He can be the distributor, the facilitator type. He could be a scorer if he needs to be. Like he could still drop 20 and still get like a triple double because he's going to throw like 10, 11 assists a game. Or if he wants to be the scoring guy, he could go drop 30, 40. And like these two are going to average like 20 points a game. Like maybe a little less than 20, but they're still going to average like near 20 a game each. So there's your 40 points right there, and you almost matched last night's total. So, um, then you're going to add other guys too to the mix, and this is going to be an interesting aspect to the team next year because I don't know. I don't think everyone comes back. Number one, and number two, like a lot of transfer portal guys are going to see this and be like, "Oh shit, I can go play with them real quick and go make I'm going to make a tournament guaranteed. We can make a run if I go play with these two. Like, hey, I'm a pretty good like wing, like a 3-and-D guy. I'm a Pat Bev type that could defend, or well, that's their Jeremiah Williams basically. Or I'm like I'm trying to think who's a good 3-and-D guy.
Just in
Just
NBA.
NBA. Just give me a guy.
I can't even think of it right now, to be honest. Everybody's 3, nobody plays D, so
I know that's the issue. But yeah, no, I mean, a 3-and-D guy, a forward, even a legitimate big man is going to look at this roster and be like, "Yo, they got an opening right there. I could be that guy. I'll be a rim running center and just go nuts with them." It could work. It just
Clay
needs
Thompson, does that count?
Yeah, I guess I could allow Clay, but that's their Gavin Griffiths right there. But minus the D, like you said, it's just a 3. It's going to be insane, and I do think a big man's going to either emerge via the portal or somewhere, because after watching Woolfolk this season, I don't think you can go in the next season with him as your big man starter. But that's besides the point. But
I remember you talking about if everything kind of stays as it is right now, aren't they 1 over the scholarship limit, I believe?
Yes, I think you're correct on that. They have. Let me see if I could pop it up real quick. I had it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, Rutgers Basketball Scholarship Grid. See if I could pop it up on the screen for everyone else to see too.
Yeah, because
if you're listening on the podcast, you're not going to see this, obviously. But how do I zoom in?
Top, the little 3 dots go to your right.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, that too.
Let's go 150. All right. Yeah, so technically, they're 2 over with DylanHarper. I didn't add DylanHarper yet. Good call. But yeah, like they're going to be 2 over with DylanHarper technically, but it'd be very, very shocking if what do you call it? If I can't even think. Cliff came back. Cliff's not going to come back. Like it's very,
though I'll be honest, the way Cliff's playing right now, yeah.
Oh, I know that, but at the same time,
these 2 might not exactly hurt him, but that's far down the line that I'm not even really.
Yeah, it's going to hurt his draft stock, and that's what he wants. And not that he has much draft stock at the moment. But yeah, he's not going to. He's not going to come back. I don't think. I'd be shocked. I think he's going to take his chances at the G League at the very least. But yeah, if you look at the roster right now, like next year they're 2 over. Say Cliff leaves, that's 1 over. Oscar's the weird one. I really don't because but Oscar and him are close. Like Oscar stayed with the Harpers during COVID, and I think he would like to play with both Harpers technically. If there's a spot, it's a 6-man Oscar or 6-man. It's a 13th man Oscar, and he could be like a down the line scholarship guy. Like if you need one, he's not awful.
No, Oscar's probably been their second most like consistent player so far this season, which is kind of a little sad to say, but it is what it is.
He's not a bad down the line bench guy, so I'd be okay if he stayed. If there's a ship, if there's not, whatever. Mawat Mag, who the hell knows what? Mr. Invisible, I guess, if you want to call him that right now, because he's just not playing. And it seems like based on everything we've been told, it's up to him to play. Like it's his decision, which is like, I get it. I know he sat out like 4 or 5 games now in a row because it seemed like he was close and he's not playing. He's close. He's not playing. He's warming up. No, he's still not playing. Still warming up. No, still not playing. Not even existent. Didn't even warm up. Didn't show up. I don't know where he was. And then he shows up like 10 minutes in. I think he has to start playing if he wants to be on next year's team, number one. They need him to. Woolfolk's a weird situation. Emmanuel Ogbol, I don't know what to think about because we don't know what he is yet. Jeremiah Williams will be there, sitting out this year, obviously, due to the NCAA transfer rules. Chol.
Yeah, that's what I was literally just thinking of. It's so weird because Pikel spent like the whole offseason kind of hyping Chol up, but he doesn't play. Like the only time he plays now is like this kind of the mop up crew, and I was like, I don't know. I just found that so weird, and that's usually when things like that happen. Like you usually see guys like that who have talent, who probably expect to get more minutes. They usually hit the transfer portal? So that's kind of my thought on him right now.
It's a tough one. And then like Gavin, obviously not going anywhere, pending a explosion into the first round of like a breakout year, I guess. But that's not happening. It doesn't seem like. Jamichael Davis, best friends with Ace, not going anywhere. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 freshmen like clearly are coming in. So I mean, number one, you have to make two spaces just to make the roster. And then I could see up to 3, 4. Derek, maybe. It really depends on what. I don't know. I'm indifferent on that one. it really depends on how he plays this year. I feel like because what's his role next year?
I mean, I don't know. They have a couple guards this year, so I would think he just. I mean, yeah, it's a good point, but I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. I can't picture him going anywhere.
I think that's one to watch for the sole fact that like Jeremiah Williams is the 3-and-D guy I was talking about, and he's probably 6'1". He's probably like 6'2". He's going to be a point guard, or he could probably play that 2 role and guard two guards if he needs to, and let Dylan take the ball up. Either way, I think those two are solidified starters. I think Ace is a solidified starter. Gavin's probably your 3-man, and then your 5. Like obviously Derek's not playing 5. Like, and then JaMychal, if JaMychal keeps developing, he might be the better guard. Like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's a weird role for him this next year, unless he can step it up this year. So we'll see what happens. But this is it's definitely interesting to look at and just see like what's what, because no one really knows what this team's going to look like next year. So I did want to pop that up, and I did have something else I wanted to pop up too, because I was just talking about it a second ago. Here it is. This is just them two playing together in AOT. Like, you're going to see like fast breaks all the time. Like that was a better pass than I've ever seen out of the Jets over the past couple weeks.
Hey, now, hey, listen, we were just talking the other day about him possibly being a dual sport athlete. If Rutgers is looking in the transfer portal for a quarterback, maybe they don't have to look. Maybe he's sitting right there.
See, like once they started playing together at AOT and stuff, like this man flew down to Georgia to play on his AAU team. That was like, lock it up. That's it. It's done. Is that Ja?
Oh, geez.
I think it's Ja, right? You gotta be careful with him, man.
Yeah, I was just looking the same thing.
This is the worst highlight tape ever. I haven't seen a highlight. Saw one.
Didn't he go down for what was the thing a couple weeks ago where Dylan went to Ace's? What was that?
Signing day.
Oh, the signing day. That's right.
Yeah. Dylan went to Ace's signing day, and that was pretty crazy. Sorry about the ads, people. No, this is stupid YouTube.
Stop and shop.
Come on, dude. Another one?
Oh my god.
Anyway. Yeah, no, he went down to the signing day, which is pretty crazy. And then he FaceTimed Ace after committing yesterday. And I thought, honestly, like, he was going to FaceTime Pikel or something. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know if Pikel, I thought it was dead period. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Ace. Yep, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Well, people were like, who's he FaceTime? And then somebody was like, Michael Jordan? And I was like, what?
I didn't really know who it was going to be, to be honest with you.
I figured it was going to be Ace, but then I was like, wait a second. Then somebody said like, Jordan. I was like, what?
These two are just going to be so good together. Like, it's insane. That was a bad turnover. But good. Yeah, what kind of highlight tape is this?
What is this? Is this highlight tape for the other team?
Apparently. You saw that? No, there's more clips than that, but and that's block for Dylan. And then the rest of the team stinks, I guess, but there is more clips. Like the vision too from Ace is incredible. Like I'm telling you, he has all the guard traits, all the guard aspects, but he's 6'10". Like,
yeah,
I would like to see Jesus, Dylan. I'm done with this tape. Did you see that shot though? I'm done with this tape after that. What was that form?
Went in.
It's like Sean Marion-esque.
Let me see that again. Hold on.
He didn't use the left hand.
That was impressive.
All right, I'm done with that. Let's get out of here. I tried to find a better clip. I probably should have done some research beforehand and found out when the good highlights were. But it's just, I don't know. This whole thing's bonkers. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, me
Very
too.
excited. Other news that happened yesterday that wasn't really news. I kind of shut that one down pretty quick, I think, on Twitter and our boards. Nike not happening. Like, it's just done. It's all Adidas. It's 3-stripe life, baby. 3-stripe life, baby.
The dojo got that one wrong.
I don't even know who posted it.
Wasn't it that Samurai?
Yeah, that's who it was. It was Samurai Hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, he posted it, and I actually DM'd him because I've talked to him a couple times in the past, and he's been pretty reliable. Yeah. He's like a Troy Donovan-esque. But he's like, I heard Nike, and I was like, dude, I literally just talked to someone like very high up and a very trusted source. They haven't had a single conversation with Nike. It's all Adidas, all day. All day I dream about. You can finish it. Guess what the S means. But yeah, it's it's interesting, and not really interesting, I guess, because we all knew it was going to be Adidas. They also, like, you saw Adidas this year, like they started giving them like crazy shoe game, like in terms of I had it popped up too. There's Crazy Eights. There's here it is. Where is it? They have the Dame Crazy Ones. Oh no, I'm sorry, the Dame PEs that are floating around. There's custom Dames for Rutgers now. There's custom what are the other ones? Custom Hardens for Rutgers.
Harden fat suits.
And yeah, no. You saw Cliff's shoe the other day. I think Rutgers men's basketball actually posted it. It was like a preview of the game, and it was just a clip of like Cliff's shoes, and they're like, they have his name, they have the logo, it's Harden on the side, this and that.
Maybe the KD Snake ones.
I'm sorry, they were Donovan Mitchell's, I think they were. But you see, like they have custom
the Mitchell I want to be in New York's.
Yeah. they have all kinds of crazy shoes now, and like you see it like when they go on visits now, especially. They haven't shown it on the court too much. I think the only guy that's actually rocking like some crazy kicks right now would be Derek Simpson. He's rocking some crazy customs here and there. He's also rocking like the Trae Young ice trays, which I have actually, and they're pretty comfortable.
The Trae Young, what happened after that series against the Knicks? Because they have just been, I don't know what happened to them after that. They looked like they were poised to be like the next kind of breakthrough team, and they've completely fallen behind the Knicks.
Yeah, it's something else, but I don't want to go too much in NBA talk, but yeah, no, it's all Adidas all the way, so we could shut that rumor down. Other than that, I guess we have to talk about this game at some point.
Yeah, there was a game last night played too, which I guess they kind of, that surprised them too by the looks of things. But
yeah, Craig, you wrote the recap, you watched it. Just give me your, I guess, initial thoughts.
It was weird because it was just like an exact almost replica of the Illinois game, where it was they fell behind super big, super early, and they had one field goal through the first 7.5 minutes. Like, you can't do that. Like, before you know it, they're down. I don't even remember. It was I think 13-3, and then it's just the lead just kept ballooning. And then, of course, I mean, credit to them, they fought back. They made it a 6-point game at halftime. Really, just because of Andre Hyatt. I mean, the guy was just couldn't miss in the first half. Second half comes around, and they showed a little bit more. I guess they showed a little bit more fight in the second half, early on than they did against the Illinois game, because they brought it all the way down to a 2-point lead. I mean, at one point, WakeForest is up on 18, and again, I mean, WakeForest is a pretty good team, but they're not.
Not this year.
No, I mean, like, they're not that good. So they fall behind by 18, cut it all the way down to 2 with like maybe 10 minutes left or something like that in the second half. And they go on an 18-0 run. And next thing you know, Rutgers is down by like 20, and it's over. Like, the game's over. Like, if you watch the first like 9 minutes, you thought the game was over. And then you get to 10 or so minutes left, or whatever the time was left, and you're down by 20 in the blink of an eye. You're down by 20. It's like, these things cannot happen. Like, they're just so weird because they come in waves. Like, they start off really bad, then they're good. Everything seems to click, and everything just goes right back to being bad. And it's like, you can't play this way in basketball. And we'll be talking about it with Cliff again. Had another bad game. Wolfolk basically didn't do much out there, but it's like, it's not even worth pointing out, because these past 2 games, they've just all been bad, and this just stinks to watch.
Yeah, looking back at it, like the first half, their shooting wasn't bad, but their defense was bad. Second half, their shooting was fucking abysmal, 29%. Like, and this is just, again, like, and it drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. Why can they never, even when they get a great 3-point shooter in Gavin Griffiths, they still can't hit 3-pointers. They can't hit 3-pointers for the life of them, and I never understood what the issue is, because these guys, Noah Fernandez was decent at his last spot. Gavin Griffiths came in as highly touted as the most talented shooter in his class. Jermichael Davis can hit a 3. Derek Simpson could hit a 3. Antonio Chol was raved about as like the number 1 3-point shooter on the team all throughout practice last season and this season. And it's like they track him. And then, Austin Williams, he's not a 3-point shooter, but he was averaging 19 last time he was healthy. And it's like, what? How can these guys not score? Like, it makes no sense to me. They just smoked layups. Like, they're 7 of 13 yesterday, which isn't as bad.
It's good for them at this point.
I mean, not kidding. it's just like, what are they doing? Like, I don't understand. And then the fouling, there's just too many. And you can argue that there's refs to blame, but like the foul discrepancy where it's 18-9 is pretty bad. And it's been like that the past couple games. Like they're committing too many ticky tacky stupid fouls. Like Noah Fernandes had 4. I think almost everyone had 2 that played significant minutes, like at least 2 or 3. And then there's just not really like there's no ball movement either. It's like, hey, Cliff, go. The one where the other day, or was it yesterday? The other day, I forget. Cliff looked like he wanted a lob from Gavin, and Gavin hit him with a bounce pass, and then Cliff was just like, "Oh shit!" Like I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's
there was a play yesterday where I feel like he's done this a couple times where it's like an easy rebound, but there's 2 Rutgers guys, and he's so aggressive for it that he kind of knocks it away from like the other Rutgers guy, and the thing like falls out of bounds, like it happened yesterday.
Yeah,
it's just and then it's Wake Forest ball, and I think they probably hit a 3, and it's like that stuff just kills you.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like they're giving up offensive boards, they're getting out rebounded big time, and I don't know how you fix that because it's literally on Cliff kind of. Like you're supposed to be talented or highly talented. I can't talk. He was basically ranked as one of the best big men in the country, and he just has yet to show that. Like he's just been really bad so far, and like 4-4 isn't going to cut it from that guy, from one of the best big men. Like the 3 blocks, yeah, it's pretty solid, but the 4-4 is not good. He had -10 in the first half. Like he was a liability. Derek Simpson 0-3 in the first half, liability. Like
Simpson is weird because he gets to his spot, shoots, and it just doesn't go in. Like it's like I get it. Like it's your second year now. Like these and there's good looks. Like these shots have to start going in.
Yeah, and that's what I go back to what I was saying before. Like it's kind of like, hey man, you got to figure shit out, or like you could be screwed. I still think they don't really know how to play with each other either. It seems like they have to keep tinkering with the lineup, and then someone's just got to step up and be like, hey, I'm the guy. Throw me the ball. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to score. I'm going to go get a bucket. And I don't know who that guy is really, because no one's really shown that. Like Fernandes had 13 last night, but it was an ugly 13. Andre Hyatt can drop 15 one night, can drop 2 the next night. So I don't think it's him. I was hoping it would be Gavin Griffiths, but he looked awful too, shooting the ball. And he looks like he's one of those guys where he gets like down and dumps a little bit, like when he starts missing. And it's like, I get it, but you gotta. Do you let him just keep shooting and shoot out of the slump? Like, is it JaMychal Davis? Is he that guy? Like, and let him shoot more? I don't know what you do, because like right now this is not working at all, and it's just ugly basketball.
Yeah, I think now, I mean, I'm not ready to quite hit the panic button, but it's definitely like time. I think it's cause for concern because it's just like there's the aspects to this team that are just not clicking right now, or like are aspects that like are basically ingrained in like a Steve Peichel like player. It's like we talked about, the rebounding is just they've gotten out rebounded the last 2 games, and it's just like this is almost like the last time I want to make the excuse to them, but like I feel like they got so screwed with the timing of Cam and Paul leaving, because those were their big guards that could really help out with the rebounding. But now it's Fernandes, Simpson, Davis, who are just smaller guards, and again they should like. It's I don't know. Sometimes rebounding is about sometimes it's not so much about your size, but where you are on the court. So they kind of have to figure out that aspect of the game. But it's just like they just look like they're getting bullied up and down the court, which just is not good. Like the toughness is just kind of not there right now. And that's something that really I think I saw Jerry Carino post that Peichel was with the team like long, was in the locker room long, that he almost missed like his radio interview. And you'd have to think that's probably something that he's talking about, is this they're not only being like outplayed, they're being out toughed, if that's a word. And they're also just, whether it's rebounding or just, post, whatever it may be, it's just these aspects that you feel like are ingrained in a Steve Peichel team aren't there right now.
Yeah. See, now I didn't overthink it too much after the Illinois game, because Illinois is a good team. They might be like one of the best in the Big Ten. Princeton, they're number 10 in the net or something like that. Number 8, I think it was. But this is a bad loss to a bad Wake Forest team. They were 105 in the net. Rutgers is pushing triple digits now. They're at 92 now after that loss. It's just ugly. Like it was a 3-point spread, and they gave the 3 points to Wake Forest because they were a home team, and it's not a crazy like atmosphere. It's an atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, but
I
it's
thought I
not like
read
some
they're
of
like 35-5 at
the.
home. Is that true?
I don't know.
I thought I saw it somewhere. They might. I think they're like a good home team, but like you said, it's
Yeah,
not exactly. It's not exactly Jersey Mike's arena.
no, it's not even like half the Big Ten schools they're gonna have to go to, but it's just been ugly, man. Like they got. I don't know what you do though. Like how do you fix that? And I don't blame it. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Paul was the reason that they're struggling rebounding. I think it's Caleb more than anything. I think losing Caleb hurt a ton. But even if you had Caleb, you still don't have a guy that could score. Like Caleb could drop maybe 8, 9, 10 at times, but that's really it. Like you still need to figure it out from the rebounding perspective. Losing Cam hurt because he was your dog, like your alpha guy. And again, you don't have that guy. Like there's no one out there that is going to step up and be like, "Hey, give me the ball. Like I need to score. I need to get some buckets for us. Otherwise, we're going to lose by 20 again or 18 or whatever the hell it was." It's just I don't know, man. It's been ugly
And
and
maybe I'm just thinking out loud here, but do you think that I know Woolfolk lost like you saw, he came in much leaner this year, lost a lot of weight, but do you feel like that was maybe the best? Was that the right decision? Because I'm watching him out there, and obviously he looks a lot leaner, but he's also getting like just he's getting pushed around in a way that he wasn't when he had that weight on. Like we saw him when he was that muscular. Like he was really the one dishing out like kind of the punishment. But now it's like I'm watching him against these backup bigs, and he's getting pushed around.
I think it was still the right decision at the end of the day. It's just I'm so against the giant, muscular, huge big men. I think the more athletic big men is just such a better fit for offenses nowadays. Now that being said, Rutgers lacks an offense, so that's the bigger issue. I do think he'll be fine, and I think the fact that he's a football player, he has that instinct that he should be able to body some of these guys. I think he'll be okay when it's all said and done. But my bigger issue is Cliff. I need him to step up, man. Like I need you to be that top 10 or top 5 center in the league, I guess, or in the nation to start the season. I need him to do something. Like I need you to drop at least minimum. I need a double out of you every night, and he's just nowhere near that. It was 4-4. Like that's pretty damn bad.
In his defense, that they barely even looked his way in the first half. But
Yeah.
but even when he did have the ball, again, it's just back to the rim, does his post moves, and then just throws it up. He almost throws it like how we were watching that high school kid with the right arm. He almost just does that, where he just kind of just throws it up, and it's just not. It's like not even close.
And he got dogged by a guy that didn't even play the entire season. Yesterday was his first game in Efton Reed. And he just got NCAA cleared the night before, and he came in off the bench and he dropped 12 and 14 in 27 minutes. And I'm like, he's been practicing with the team, obviously, but like, what the hell? Like, he's one of those big body centers, like those old school 7-foot, 250 type centers. So I think that's more like what we saw, but I don't think you'll see a lot more of that in the future. I think it's going to start changing a little bit too. But someone's got to it drives me nuts, man. The lack of scoring is just watching other teams. Like, even if you live and die by the three, it's still more fun. It's exciting to watch. And there'll be games where you hit like 23s and it's like, yes, that's insane. Like, that was 90 points. And then there'll be games where it's like 7 of 30 and it's like, all right, that was a bad one. But it's more exciting play. This play is just nothing. I don't know what it is. It's just they don't look like they care either.
Yeah, because going into the year, we kind of figured, they'd drop off a little bit in defense and probably a little bit in rebounding, but we didn't think it would be, kind of this bad. And I figured they would at least have kind of the shooting to make up for it, but they're not even getting that either. Like Peichel mentioned, like he thinks this could be an 80-point team, but like they're not even close to that right now.
Oh no, not at all. And I think he's starting to realize anything he says is like starting to get nipped in the butt. It was like Ralph G, like best rebounder, doesn't play for like a minute. Best team I've ever had, doesn't make the tournament. And it's like, all right, you got to stop like saying those quotes. I feel like a little bit. It's coming back to bite you every time. But yeah, no, I don't know what else you do. I don't think there was a presser. I didn't see any.
Yeah, I didn't see any or anything either.
We didn't get an email either about one, so I just don't think there was anything said. I know it's an away game, and sometimes they don't do it for away games, but for the most part, they do. So I was a little shocked by that. But Yeah, big game this weekend, Seton Hall, and
Now it's a huge game because both teams are
now it
coming in
is. Yeah.
basically limping, and this is like the losers might be there. They might be, this
That might
season
be
might
it.
be is unraveling for the loser right now.
Yeah. Late one too. 8:30 p.m. Saturday night. Prudential Center. I'll be there. I don't think you're going, right?
Nah.
I'll be there. Alec will be there. I'm going with some family. Alec's going to cover the game for us. For the sole fact that I have a lot of Seton Hall fans in my family, a lot of dummies. Yeah, I know. Yeah, unfortunately, but I'll be hanging out with them. So if you see me like a little buzzed, a little drinking, like, mind your business.
Or buying beer.
I mean that too. I'm all about that. But yeah,
Hey,
no, it
listen,
should be a good game.
I mean, you were the first one with DylanHarper. I mean, you were
I
kind of
celebrate a little bit, I haven't
yeah,
been
I
able to
know. I
celebrate
mean,
yet.
I feel like if anybody deserves his credit, it's Richie Schnyderite,
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else, Craig? DylanHarper news, Juan Soto news,
Yeah,
Rutgers
I mean,
Basketball.
I was just gonna mention. I mean, Juan Soto, welcome to New York. That's gonna be
Yeah, it's
hopefully
a big
fun to
one.
watch because I mean, he plays a little bit like he's kind of like judging a bit, where it's like he'll take his pitches, he hits for average, and plays like an actual baseball player. So it's nice to see. Nice to see that. A short porch will hopefully, I would think, help him. And
Mhm.
hopefully now they say it's a 1 year rental, but if he has a good year, hopefully he looks to make it longer than that.
Yeah, two generational talents on the same team.
Yeah,
Three if you count Giancarlo.
yeah. And
No,
now they
yeah.
just gotta go get a Yamamoto so they can have the Yamasoto.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
and everybody's trying to think of the John Sterling home run calls.
Oh my god.
Everybody's saying 1 in a million. I
I didn't
thought
think
of
about that.
it's gonna be something like 50s related, or so maybe like I don't know, or maybe like it's a Wonderful Life, something connected with that.
Something stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Sterling, but he's just something else. Anyway, other than that, any final thoughts on Rutgers?
No, I think that's just about it.
All right, guys, we'll have a preview show soon. We will have. If you guys don't know him, he's a very interesting guest. He's a very big personality on Twitter for Seton Hall, and they don't have a lot of Twitter fans. But his name's JP Carlissimo. Obviously, a play on words because it's not PJ Carlissimo. Big Seton Hall guy, knows a lot about the sport. He'll be on our preview show probably tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Share this video to your friends. Share the podcast to your friends. Give us a rating on whatever podcasting app you're listening to on, because it helps us grow the pod, helps us grow to a bigger Rutgers audience. And we like doing these. They're fun, and you guys like them. You watch them, obviously, so I would hope you like them. But yeah, no, it's just I'm glad Dylan's Harper's recruitment's finally over. I'm glad we got it first by a mile. I'm glad I never wavered because I was very confident in it from the get-go. There were moments where people were like, "Hey, like, what are you doing? Like, are you sure? Are you sure he's visiting Duke? All right, you sure he's visiting Indiana? Oh,
Yeah, remember those rumors?
Kansas
He's
is here.
visiting Kansas. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think he ever stepped foot in Kansas.
never hesitated once on our end. I can't speak for everyone else because they did hesitate quite a bit. They actually said it wasn't going to happen, but NIL is a hell of a thing. So Rutgers basketball is back, sort of. Not this year, next year.
Fingers crossed.
But
I don't know.
yeah. For I guess that's all I really got. For me and Craig, that's another episode of the Night Report podcast. Signing off.